On an August night in 1966, a trans woman threw a cup of coffee in a San Francisco police officer's face and changed the city forever. Welcome back to Yesterqueers. My name's Amanda, and I'm a public historian of queer history. According to Susan Stryker, the Compton's Cafeteria riot was the first known instance of collective militant queer resistance to police harassment in United States history. And Stryker is the reason that it's now broadly recognized as a milestone in the queer liberation movement, because we almost lost this piece of history. While working at San Francisco's GLBT Historical Society archives in 1995, Stryker came across a mention of the riot in the 1972 Pride program. It took Stryker and her longtime friend Victor Silverman years to track down scraps of information and piece together the story. In the 1960s, San Francisco's Tenderloin was a red light district and a queer ghetto. According to Stryker, the people who made up the Tenderloin were mostly young people who maybe had been kicked out by their families and were living on the street, and trans people who could lose a job at any moment or not be hired, who wouldn't be rented to, who had to live in crappy residential hotels in a bad part of town, and who had to do survival sex work to support themselves. But the Tenderloin also represented freedom because it was one of only a handful of neighborhoods in San Francisco where drag queens and trans women could live openly because female impersonation was a crime. San Francisco is actually one of the first cities to outlaw cross-dressing, and the ordinance against it was enforced from 1863 until 1974. Everyone in the Tenderloin ate at Compton's, and it was the place to be late at night, gossiping over endless cups of coffee while the sun rose over the city. According to Tamara Ching, it was good to go and be seen and talk to people about what happened during the night, to make sure everybody's okay, everyone made their coins, everyone's coming down and did an overdose. Compton's nourished people. Unfortunately, the Compton's management didn't love being the late-night destination for drag queens, trans women, and hustlers, so they frequently called the police to come clear the restaurant out. No one can remember exactly what sparked the riot on that August night. Maybe the anti-war protests gaining momentum across the city energized the community. Maybe it was the fact that a radical young queer group called Vanguard had picketed outside of Compton's earlier in the day. Maybe it was resentment and frustration from years of harassment and abuse by police officers and business owners boiling over all at once. Whatever the cause, when the police showed up to clear out Compton's that night, it did not go the way they expected. As a police officer reached for a trans woman's arm to pull her out of her seat, she threw a hot cup of coffee in that officer's face, and then Compton's exploded. When the smoke from a newsstand smoldering nearby finally cleared, the corner of Taylor and Turk looked like a bomb had gone off. All of Compton's windows were broken. Dishes lay shattered on the floor and across the sidewalk. Furniture was broken or overturned. Silverware glinted next to the tires of a ruined police car. Eyewitnesses estimate that more than 100 people participated in the riot, and yet the only mention of it in any newspaper was a snide comment from San Francisco columnist Herb Caen that things had gotten a little rowdy down at Compton's. Apparently, the San Francisco Police Department was not keen on letting the rest of the city know that they'd had their asses handed to them by a bunch of drag queens and trans women armed with hot coffee and heavy purses. That's it for today. As always, more information, including sources and further reading, is available in the usual place.